Video, I'll show you how to quickly make an RFI using Bluebeam. So first you're going to find the place on your plans where you want to request your information. So let's say this doorway here, you don't have either the height or the width or maybe the knobs or hinges or something. You can come over to the toolbox, grab the cloud, and just draw a box around the door. And then what you can do is, if you go up here to tools, you can actually hyperlink this and just draw another box right around here. And you can use that if you have a document saved, or you can use a template already in Bluebeam. But here I can just link this to the blank RFI I have saved. Hit OK. And then when you're just looking at this page, you see the cursor change. Now this is hyperlinked, so if I click on this bubble, take me to the blank RFI. And you can, using the tools here, you can use text box to fill out any information you need, whatever, use it to the needs of your company. But yeah, that's pretty much how you're going to quickly create an RFI using Bluebeam. Thanks for watching. Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a quantity takeoff using one method. The first step that you're going to want to take is to scale your image to make sure that all your quantities are what you're intending them to be. So you find a known measurement. Let's just say, this whole length of the wall is 102 feet and 11 inches. Then you come down here. I already scaled this one actually, but I'm going to show you how to do it again just for the sake of the video. You select 2 points to calibrate. You want to start from end to end. So this 102 comes all the way over here. Give it a sec to load. You want to make sure it's precise, so don't rush. Click the point, and then go all the way to the other end, which would be down here. And once it loads up, just click the end point right there. And then you enter. Like I said, this is already scaled, so it's 102 feet and 11 inches. You store that scale in the page so that everything is the same scale, and you just hit OK, and then you should be good to go.
After your measurements are complete, you're going to want to actually create the shape. So in this example, we're going to be doing windows. So you go to your polyline tool and you zoom in on the area you want to trace. So we're going to do this window, and you want to be as exact as possible. Go from endpoint to endpoint, trace it, and then when you feel good about it, hit enter on your keyboard. It'll show up the line thickness. And from here, we're going to rename it. So this is for window A. There's multiple types of windows in this project, but this is window A, so we're going to name it window A. And we're also going to add it to a tool chest, and I already made the Windows tool chest for our convenience. But now, you can go into Windows and you can place this wherever. And also, you can adjust these settings. You can change the color, the opacity, the line type, the line thickness. Very customizable options here. So this is our window A. And then what we're going to want to do is go around the project, and like I said, you can access from your Windows toolbar our template for window A. So you don't have to retrace it every time. You can just click and place on every instance of window A in the project on the sheet of the plans. So we'll go around, we'll place all of our windows, and then we'll be right back in a second. Okay, once all of our windows are placed, we're going to add some columns here. So you go down to the markups list, and we can see we have all this information about window A, window B, all the different things we have entered. And I already did this, but I'm going to show you what I did. If you go into Manage Columns, you can actually see there's a lot of preloaded, like automatic, they come with Bluebeam, but we also have some custom columns. And I already made these ahead of time, but there's material and there's cost. So for material, I just pretty much made arbitrary cost for Windows A and Windows B. But and then for the cost column, I entered the expression that materials would be the cost because we already have that price defined. So you can see in here that each window A costs $550 and window B costs $300. And then once you have everything in, you're done all your markups for your quantity takeoff, you can go back down to the markup list and go to export. I'm going to do a PDF summary here. It usually takes a minute to load, so I already loaded it pre-hand just to save some time. But you can see it's a really nice summary of all the markups here in a PDF form. It shows the subject, it shows the date it was created, the time, the color, even has a little diagram of what it looks like in the picture. It's just a really great tool.
In this video, I'll be explaining punch lists through Bluebeam. Now, one thing you should note before we start is that punch lists are more so used by people who are at the site using mobile devices, people who are, in the field more. So I'll do my best to explain it from my desktop here, but ideally this is used by people in the field, not on a laptop or desktop like me. But anyways, what you're going to want to do to get started is see these shaded areas. I kind of already set up a few just for the sake of time. They're called spaces, and ideally every room would have a defined space. But for this video, I'm just going to show you a few. So to add a new space, you come over here to the left side spaces. You can see all the ones I've created. Here's the covered porch here. I use the 128 to label to help people understand the documents. Here's the loading dock. Over here is the freezers. But to add a new space, you come over and you hit add space, obviously. And you come to your document, and you can either, if it's a perfect square, like or rectangle, this dining alcove is here. You can just drag it to the area you desire, and then name it, what's it called? Dining alcove. You might want to add the number too, just to help for clarity, 126. Okay. Now that space is created. And even if it's not a perfect rectangle, you can create a new space just by, you can just click the points and make any kind of shape you really need in that case. So it's not a big deal, but it is nice for rectangular rooms. Once you have the space created, you want to come into your toolbox, and this is where people who are on the job site would typically be doing this. They'd be walking around and finding, like let's say in the screened-in porch area, here's an example. They're walking through and they notice some tile in this corner needs a new caulk. So they would add a little markup, add a little note with it, move on. They're on the loading dock, and maybe there's a security swipe feature in this building, and the wiring's incomplete. They need to finish that wiring. Maybe in the freezers, they're missing some of the shelving that they have in the plans. So these are all items that towards the end of the project, they're just the little nitty-gritty things they need to finish up. So let's say maybe in the dining room, they find maybe some like crown molding needs repair. Crown molding needs repair. And similar to before, you're going to want to change the fill to no fill so you can see what you're talking about. You can even lower the opacity of the text itself if you want to be able to see through it and read what's behind it. And then what's great about Bluebeam is you come down here, you open up your markups again, and you can see, here I'll drag this up to make it easier. You can see all the marks we made. And each one has their own comment with it, so it kind of describes briefly what needs to be done. You can see who created it, when it was created. You can see, I did all of these using the contractor tools, but if different people are making different markings, you can see what kind of work needs to be done over here. And what I did previously is you can manage these statuses. And I added this punch list, which has open, pending, and completed items that you can change the status of. So you can go through these and let's say, they're probably all open at the start, right? Once you file for them. But as the project goes on, maybe someone comes through and someone works on this security system. They wire it up, so they would come in and they can change the status to pending, which would show whoever's in charge, hey, I did the work, someone needs to come out and check it. Then hopefully someone comes out and checks it, and they say, all right, you're good to go, completed. And you can see also I added the color change to show the visual indication. So now if you're back up on the sheet here, you can see just by looking at it, all right, green, this is good to go. It was needed to be fixed, but it's been fixed already. This one, however, no one's fixed it yet. Let's focus on this item. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, it also shows who is changing the status. So these are all by me because I just did them, but ideally if different people are coming in, it can keep track of who does what work when. It's just great for tracking responsibility throughout the project. And yeah, that's pretty much a rundown of how to do punch lists. And like I said, this would all mostly be done by mobile users, but I hope this video kind of explains how it works from a desktop end. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to do QA QC using Bluebeam. First, I want to show though, down here on the left side, we come all the way down to the bottom, this studio function. This is very useful. So what you can do with this is everyone has an account, or you create an account, and you can share your projects that you're working on, all the plans, all these documents that you're editing in real time. And everyone who's involved in the project, if they have an account, can see these changes in real time. So you don't have to be emailing each other. You don't have to be meeting in person if you don't want to or don't have time to. You don't have to be going to and from the construction site. You can do everything remotely. Bluebeam is on mobile, so people on the construction site will be getting these updates in real time too. It's a great tool, very helpful. And so what you're going to want to do is, if you want to get started with the QA/QC, you come into your plan, open your toolbox on the left side, and grab this bubble with a text box. And let's say this window right here, something's wrong with it. I don't know. Let's say it was installed upside down. Something crazy happened. Someone messed up, and yeah, don't ask questions, but it was upside down. First thing you're gonna want to do is change the fill here, no fill, so you can actually see what you're talking about. And then what's cool about Bluebeam is if you come down here into this kind of like markups section, now you can see every markup on this sheet that I'm looking at. This happens in real time, and you can see me, Michael Redfield. I'm the one who created this. You can see the date and time when it was created. You can even change the status of it. So first you want to manage your statuses. So you see you have all these options: accepted, rejected, canceled, completed. You can add more, you can delete them. If you want to come in and add colors, I've made accepted green, seemed right. I think I made rejected red, seems right. Whatever, you can change these settings to the needs of your company. But what you can do is you can change the status. And let's say right now it's rejected because it's upside down. We don't want that, and it reflects that change here on the sheet. And so now anyone who comes in and is looking at this drawing can see, oh, we need to flip this window back right side up. And once they do that, then they can come in and change the status, and they say, okay, I did it. It's completed. And I can see now. It says by me because I just did both of them, but whoever did this, I can see who is responsible for it. And you can keep track in Bluebeam of who's responsible for what, who took what actions, and then hopefully eventually you can go through and accept it, and now the color's changed again up on the screen too. So it's a really easy way to keep track of everything going on in your project. The studio function really keeps your workers connected, keeps everyone on the same page. It's a great tool for QA/QC. Thanks for watching. This video I'm going to talk about how Bluebeam can aid in project turnover or project handover. So traditionally that would just include, at the conclusion of the scope of the project, you would just hand over dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of sheets of paper with all the plans, all the specs, all the information. It's all hard copy. And I mean, this is in a way the same thing, but you don't actually have the physical copies of them anymore, which, I mean, it's easier to store. You can take it with you wherever you go. It's easier to share. It's easier to access for other parties. It's just an overall better way. It's more environmentally friendly. There's just a ton of reasons why you should go with cloud storage and, online documents rather than physical documents anymore. But anyway, what we do for project handover is typically you just want to upload the spec book. And I mean, the spec book, this is just for the kitchen in our project, but I mean, it has tons of information. It's 300 plus pages, I believe. It's, if they need to replace wheels on the shelves, if they need to replace racks. I mean, like I said, there's 300 pages. If they need the sink's not working, they need to find out exactly what type of sink it was, what kind of faucet it had. Anything they could find or anything they could need, they can find in these documents somewhere. Like I said, this is just the kitchen, but there's spec books for all different areas of the project, and you should upload them all to Bluebeam. And then from there you have a couple options. You can either share if you're in the studio function and the owner has it, you can share it with them. You can go up here to file, you can export it to a ton of different ways, whatever is convenient for you, convenient for the owner. It's just overall just a user-friendly, it's just a much better way than the traditional method of handing over the documents. Thanks for watching.